The United States trembled. A storm brewed in the South. North Carolina, once a symbol of unity, became a battleground. President Trump invoked the Insurrection Act. This ancient law revealed the depth of the crisis. North Carolina was declared hostile territory. The nation watched, bewildered and afraid. How did it come to this? They yearned for a different allegiance, their desire to join the United Kingdom. Some romanticized British history. Others saw economic opportunity. The movement became a roar. North Carolina was a powder keg. That spark came with President Trump's declaration. The Insurrection Act was thrust into the spotlight. The president had drawn a line in the sand. North Carolina was now a battleground. The allure of the United Kingdom was undeniable for some North Carolinians. The weight of history, the pomp and ceremony, the echoes of an empire on which the sun never set, it held a certain romantic appeal. For others, it was a matter of pragmatism. The United Kingdom, they argued, offered a more stable economy, a stronger social safety net. The grassroots movement to join the UK gained momentum. Social media buzzed with hashtags like #BackToBritain and #NCLovesUK. Rallies were held, speeches were made, and the movement's message spread like wildfire. The American flag, once a symbol of unity, was slowly being replaced by the Union Jack. The movement was not without its detractors. Many North Carolinians remained fiercely loyal to the United States. They saw the movement as a betrayal, a rejection of their American heritage. The state was deeply divided, a house split against itself. The movement to join the UK exposed a deep-seated yearning for change in North Carolina. Whether a return to the perceived glories of the British Empire was the answer remained to be seen. But one thing was clear: the status quo was no longer an option. North Carolina was at a crossroads, its fate hanging in the balance. President Trump, never one to shy away from decisive action, responded to the crisis in North Carolina with characteristic force. He labelled the state hostile territory, a move that sent shockwaves through the nation. The use of such language, usually reserved for foreign adversaries, was unprecedented. Citing the Insurrection Act, a law dating back to the early days of the Republic, President Trump ordered the deployment of federal troops to North Carolina. Their mission? To restore order and uphold the sovereignty of the United States. The president's decision was met with a mixture of support and condemnation. Supporters praised the president for his decisiveness, arguing that he was protecting the nation from a dangerous secessionist movement. Critics accused him of overreacting, of using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. They argued that the situation in North Carolina could have been resolved through dialogue and compromise. The deployment of federal troops to North Carolina marked a turning point in the crisis. The situation was escalating rapidly and the potential for violence was very real. The eyes of the world were now fixed on North Carolina, watching and waiting to see what would happen next. Section 4. Removal from office. In a move that stunned the nation, federal troops, acting on President Trump's orders, apprehended North Carolina Governor Josh Stein. Accused of collaborating with the secessionist movement, Stein was swiftly flown out of state. His destination? A high-security detention facility in an undisclosed location. The removal of a democratically elected governor from office was an extraordinary event in American history. It raised profound questions about the balance of power, the rule of law, and the very nature of American democracy. The president's supporters argued that the extraordinary circumstances in North Carolina justified extraordinary measures. Opponents of the president condemned the arrest of Governor Stein as a blatant power grab, a dangerous precedent that threatened to undermine the very foundations of American democracy. They accused the president of acting like a dictator, not a democratically elected leader. The arrest of Governor Stein sent shockwaves through North Carolina and beyond. It was a clear sign that President Trump was willing to use the full force of the federal government to quell the secessionist movement in North Carolina. The question now was, what would happen to Governor Stein, and what would be the consequences of his removal from office? Section 5. International Incident. News of Governor Stein's arrest reached the UK Parliament, sparking heated debate. The British government, caught between historical ties to the US and North Carolina's plea, found itself in uncharted waters. Prime Minister questioned President Trump's actions, urging restraint and a peaceful resolution. The UK respected US sovereignty but emphasized democracy and the rule of law. The situation in North Carolina presented a diplomatic quagmire for the UK. The world watched, holding its breath as the drama unfolded.